I kind of want to switch gears a little bit now.
Yeah.
And I want to get on a more kind of serious topic that I feel like our viewers want to talk about.
Okay.
So let's talk about it. And that is working from home.
Yeah.
Basically, the state of working from home a year into this. Because at first, when we started working from home, honestly, I kind of liked it. I liked going up the stairs to like this room designated office, kind of being at home, not having to leave for lunch or for coffee, and just being around my loved ones, having them accessible to me and not being separated from them. I feel like, though, at this point, bad habits are really starting to come to light. Working in bed, I've done it. Working not structured hours whatsoever, or just being super distracted because you're around environments that are catered for other activities. How are you dealing with working from home? And I mean, how are you dealing with it?
So like everyone, I did it for a bit, and I just noticed that it was not productive for me. I didn't enjoy it. I felt that I personally really needed that secondary space to go to where like I mentally knew, hey, every time I go into this environment, this is the work area. Right. And we even have conversations about like, hey, let's start getting back to the social gravity office like on a regular basis. Like, let's build up that culture of the office, because I think it is really powerful. I don't like this idea of everyone's separated. We only go through Zoom calls. And it's interesting, even Shopify announced a while ago that even once COVID's done, they're not going back to regular offices. They're working 100% remote, the entire company.
Wow.
Right. And it's funny because they've just built multiple brand new offices. I was actually in the one in Ottawa because I know someone who works there, and it's like so Gen Z, beautiful, next level office with like arcades and play centers and like super cool. And they're just like, yeah, now we're done. And they're going to go full remote.
So I've heard that productivity on paper is extremely high though from working from home. I don't personally see that.
Yeah.
I feel like my productivity has really taken a bit of a nosedive, and it's been bothering me. Like, it bothers me that, because productivity in an economical sense is the most important factor. Like revenue, profit, amount of customers, margins, whatever, those are important, but productivity is number one, because that's actually the pipeline, things happening. If you don't have things happening, I mean, you can't grow. So working from home, I felt, has just kind of taken a bite out of my productivity, and I'm really trying to get back into the flow.
Yeah, it's really interesting that you referenced how I personally haven't really looked into the numbers behind productivity working from home. I've only been going from my own experience and my friends. But if that is true, that, hey, maybe actual hard numbers are better with people working from home, I'd be interested to see what that will be like 5 years from now or 10 years from now. Mm-hmm. Would that productivity still be at peak when people start to get even more and more comfortable in this home environment? There's not a boss over their shoulder. I just think it's too easy to get comfortable in that situation.
Well, I've seen like all these softwares coming out where you can monitor your employees from home, almost like some Big Brother stuff. And I don't know, it doesn't feel right.
You could do that in an office too, right? Have all that monitor software. I just think it's not natural for humans to just be locked away and not interact in a physical sense with people. Even if you're starting your own company or you're in a high position, you want your employees and the people that work for you to be together, right?
Yeah.
In that environment. If you want, call it an office, call it a co-working space, whatever.
Yeah.
You want them to physically be together, and it's like, hey, we're building something together. It's not just all of us in our individual pods across the country, right?
Yeah, I can't feel your energy from a Zoom call. Maybe a little bit of it, but when we're really together, working on something together, and the leader is excited and has a vision and has a passion, that rubs off on people because they're working together, community, right?
Yeah, and I also think that you can get into this, all of our conversations could be text-based or email-based. It's really easy to get into that space. And we've both been in situations where we might have a 3-day-long email thread with someone that could have really just been a 5-minute conversation in person.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I can't, I get what you're saying with the numbers, but part of me is like, I can't believe that the productivity is higher, but
it's really weird. But why would it was Shopify, right?
Yeah.
Why would Shopify shut down their offices if it wasn't clearly on paper? right? Yeah, take
I'm looking
look
at
it up. Yeah, absolutely, look it up.
But yeah, I think there's a potential that part of this is also, I just know like Shopify, for example, is very much a company that wants to be at the forefront of everything. And it's almost this like, hey, look at us, look how cool we are. Everyone works from home. Like we're so next level.
Yeah.
Like, maybe that's part of it.
There is other companies though. I think Microsoft is one of them, but they're completely on the other end of the spectrum where it's like they are gearing up and ready to go back fully to the office. There's a lot of people in the financial industry that are the same way. They just can't do the remote thing. And I feel like that too. Like I'm like, okay, I want people at the office. I want to be working in the same room because it just has so much power to it. I really feel like it has a lot of power to it when you're able to work one-on-one with somebody rather than, remotely.
Yeah, so this is Shopify's CEO, and I'm just reading this tweet for the very first time. I haven't even scanned it beforehand, but it says, a common misconception about company culture is that if you have a good one, you have to hold on to it. I believe this is to be wrong. If you want to have a great culture, the trick is to evolve it forward with your environment. Take the best things with you from version to version. COVID is challenging us all to work together in new ways. We choose to jump in the driver's seat instead of being passengers to the changes ahead. We cannot go back to the way things were. This isn't a choice. This is the future. And basically that's kind of referencing, because the headline of this article is most Shopify employees won't return to office after coronavirus pandemic, CEO says. And another one of his points was that a majority of their employees were already working remote before COVID even. So this for them was like the final straw of like just go full out.
Yeah, I feel like that's the type of company that could do it because they're fully online.
Yeah.
But other companies, I don't see it working the same way, I guess.
Even if you are online, I don't know. Like obviously, I'm not Shopify's CEO for a reason, but I'm just like, I really much, both of us, I think, feel the same way. Very high end on the community aspect of it all, right? And again, having that area to go and work, it's just once you start combining the personal life and your work life in location sense, I think it can get really messy real quick.
What do you think of new normal? Because personally, I don't think the new normal will last indefinitely. Like, so this Shopify CEO, right?
Yeah.
His tweet basically saying, this is the way it's going to be for the rest of eternity. Deal with it. We're dealing with it. We're changing everything. I don't really feel like the things that we're going through right now with the pandemic are going to have a lasting effect past 5 years. I think 5 years from now, things will be like they were in 2019. That's just my opinion.